Yo. Max just ran in front. He's like, "Are you talking to me?" Alright, sounds like my audio's pretty good. We're gonna load up the game. So we've gotten most of the endings here already. And I think we're gonna be heading to the conclusion here. Select team to advance the story. I think we actually need D team for the force quit box. But I'm not actually sure where that's at. So instead, let's look at the flow and see if I can do it that way. Because see, look how close we are to the end. We've done all this stuff, and it looks like this is just the end here. I can't go there. Okay. So let me instead... Where is that force quit box? Is this it here? No. No. There we go. Okay.
Why is it open?
No idea.
There's text displayed on the monitor.
Force quit program on standby. To initiate, 2 key items must be set. How about that?
Wait, I think there's more to the message.
Each is a mother's memento. A mother's...
So I'm thinking what it's gonna be...
Diana, does any of that ring a bell for you?
Is the 2 things that she put in the transporter. The
Hey,
Phi's brooch
wrong?
and then
My head.
the music box.
My head! No. That can't be.
What is it?
did you remember something?
But... if that's true... then... the key items we need to insert are...
And it looks to be that shape too. And then I guess music box. Hi, Mr. Mutiny X. There's an option for space, so we're gonna use it. Music box, and that's the right spacing, so I think we're right. I think that makes sense. It was the mother's mementos that she sent in with the transporter.
Diana?
3.
What's gotten into you?
Oh! Phi!
I think she just figured out that Phi is her daughter. I've been cranking them out weekly, but...
What? No. Diana, you're...
They're a family!
Sigma!
You don't have to say anything. This is enough for now.
At least they're helping keep some terrible voice actors off the street. Ouch, Odabe. Well, I think this is going to be the last installment because trophy earned, bigger on the inside. I think this is going to be the final installment because I think we're almost done, and then this is the last one. This is the third game. So, there isn't anything else after this, so... But now there's something new! Oh, sure. Let me... I'm gonna go change something for a second. Okay. Now people won't be inviting me to, play games I'm not interested in. So I think we jump here. We'll start with, C-Team and move forward. Thanks, T-Bum. Final decision. Yes, I do believe that this is the end of the game here. Whoa.
I knew it! Looks like the memories we regained are true after all.
The 3 wards were all in the same place. Then...
Here comes everybody!
Carlos!
Akane. Junpei.
And Mira, and Eric.
And you're Sean, right?
Carlos, what happened?
Proof of friendship.
Ha!
Anyway, what are you guys doing here?
According to the schedule, C-Team and Q-Team should both still be asleep.
We took a page out of your book and did what you did. We used the cards to keep the bracelet needle from
And
injecting
that's
us.
what they were doing
So, does that
when
mean...
he made like
Yeah.
a diversion so that they would all go
remember
behind
I
the
do
counter. And that's what he did there.
well.
And then Sean turned
Over
off the
past few
cameras.
hours,
And
we
then
got back the memories we forgot.
Well, to be more accurate, it's more like we accessed the morphogenetic field and downloaded all of them.
Then you have the other history's memories too?
Yes.
Then you're like us.
Yep, he's walking around.
Why?
Hold up. Eric and I are different.
Yeah. We didn't gain memories from other histories.
Then neither of you got injected?
No. We're the same as Carlos and the others.
I told them. Maybe I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah. By the way,
First,
I'm a
so I
robot.
could run the program in the Force Quit box, I accessed the central control computer. Then, I briefly turned off the communication network. That way, I stopped the surveillance cameras from sending any data to Zero. I didn't want Zero to catch on to what we were doing.
And that's when Sean let us in on the truth of what's going on here.
We went over to the transporter room and picked up 2 cards. Before the injection, we each slipped one between our wrist and bracelet.
Okay. Now you two make sense. But what about you, Sean?
Well, you probably already know, but I'm a robot. Being injected does nothing to me.
Then,
Every time the time limit approached, I was forced to go into sleep mode. Then my memories from the previous 90 minutes were deleted. I didn't want that to happen, so...
You changed the program.
You remember me saying I accessed the computer? Well, I hacked my own system too.
You're my good
He
boy.
said he managed to cancel the forced sleep and delete functions.
What about C-Team then?
We couldn't interrupt the surveillance cameras, so we had to be sneaky instead.
First, Carlos pushed me down and climbed on top of me.
What?
The ingenious plan.
I was only pretending to do it.
Carlos used that moment to whisper in my ear. He said to go to the transporter room and grab the cards in there.
But if I just let her go like that, it'd look suspicious. So Junpei and I stayed behind to get Zero's undivided attention.
Yeah, and
I casually invited
Junpei beat the crap out of him, and so that's what he was probably looking at. You insist that there was a better plan still.
The result of our
Hi,
conversation.
Vasco.
You should have told me what was up.
If I had, then Zero would have figured it out. You look like you'd be a crap actor.
And after that?
We met Akane in the lounge. We hid from the cameras, and each got a card from her.
Sorry, but could I get confirmation on something? Everyone knows what all happened in the other histories, right?
Even you, Mira and Eric?
Didn't Eric say so earlier? Sean told us everything.
Sean filled him in.
But wait. Why?
Why what?
Why do we know about the other histories?
Well, that's probably...
Oh.
You want to know?
Q? Or maybe it's actually Zero.
Yep.
You are free to call me by my given name, which is Delta. There's no need to look so threatening. You were the one who named me, Diana. It doesn't matter. I shall answer your question. Carlos, Akane, Junpei, Diana, Vi, and Sigma. All 6 of you know that you are shifters, correct?
No. Diana
Think back on your
named
path to this
him.
very moment.
So,
Did you arrive in this history?
in one of the previous histories, a different timeline than this one, she and Sigma got locked in and couldn't escape, and they, you know, fell in love and did it. They had sex, and she got pregnant. She gave birth to twins, and they named them Phi and Delta, and they put them through the transporter. Sigma set the date back so that it would be before Zero could have possibly gotten his hands on the transporter. And so that's their son. But he's old now because it's present day now. That's all the explanation you're gonna get, sorry.
By following a normal flow of time. No, of course you didn't. You jumped in
Yes.
from another history using your shift abilities. And it wasn't just this once. You have been shifting back and forth many, many times. From one point in space-time to another. You boldly took chances. Much like jumping from one tree branch to another. You have forgotten that fact, perhaps as a result of the medicine, or as one of the side effects of shifting. Regardless, your memories have been kept firmly intact within the morphogenetic field. It is simply that the 6 of you regained the memories of those times. One small trigger, and the levee preventing you from remembering collapsed. Sean is a similar case. However, his thought center is located within the quantum computer, so I suppose it's slightly different from you.
Yeah, he's a machine.
What about me and Mira?
You are both like me, in that we do not have the ability to shift.
You don't?
I have another power instead. The power to mind hack.
Mind hack?
I am able to read other people's minds. I know the thoughts and ideas that go through their heads. That's why I know exactly what Phi is trying to do right now.
Ha!
Step away from that device, Phi.
She's trying to put her brooch in it.
Then, when we blocked the injection,
He knew about
I saw
it,
through your ruse.
but he let them do it anyway.
I wanted all of you to play the final decision game.
The final decision game?
I find human decisions fascinating. More specifically, the world branching that occurs as a result. I already mentioned that I am unable to shift. But after looking inside millions of minds, I learned one thing. There are people in this world with the ability to jump between histories. That shifters exist.
Hi, Dark Angel Master.
Hence why I know so much about these parallel worlds.
You did all this? Because you were curious?
When a person does something significant, it's difficult to boil the reason down to one word. Their motives are often very complex. It is the same now. To fulfill several objectives, it was necessary to trap all of you in here.
So why did you do it?
You want to know? It is so you give
I actually
birth
did tune
to
into
Phi
Dark Angel Master
and
for a couple
myself,
minutes.
Diana.
I gave a little comment, but it didn't show up on your PlayStation feed, so I don't know if you saw it or not. Yeah, I dropped by for a couple minutes, so I'm not sure if you know, maybe people are dropping by and you're not able to see it, like maybe it's not set up properly or something. So that might be something you want to look into at some point. Yeah, that makes sense. He wanted to make sure that he was born.
What do you mean?
It's a closed
Phi
loop.
and I are the children of Diana and Sigma.
Phi is...
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah, you were playing like Tekken or
they're
something.
children?
November 16th, 2029. Phi and I were born in this shelter. This was another history, of course. Shortly after, the atomic data that makes up our bodies was transported to April 1904. The transporter was located in a German research facility at that time. Our bodies reconstructed and regenerated in the export pods at that facility.
But that would mean you're actually...
Really old.
I'm 124.
That's
You're joking.
stupid old.
But Phi is...
A German researcher sent her to 2008. Records indicate that she was part of an experiment.
You're saying Phi jumped back in time from 2029 to the year 1904, and then forward again to 2008?
Technically, what was sent both times was simply the data makeup of Phi's body.
I heard that in 2008, the device was being studied in an American facility.
That's when an old couple who were researchers took me in.
We've gone off topic. But yes, that was one of the major goals.
You want to make sure he was
Everything
born.
that occurred here helped create Phi and myself. And when I say that, I am including all of the other histories. If I hadn't trapped the group of you here, then Phi and I would have never been born in our current forms.
Your current forms?
Sean, you should already know about epigenetics. You see, environmental factors determine which switches are
you just gotta
activated
figure out your
within
setup,
the
I think.
genetic code. Reproductive cells are the same. Or perhaps I should say that the reproductive cells are the ones most affected.
Oh, I get it. That's why you made Diana and Sigma play the decision game.
What do you mean?
By backing them into a crisis situation, he caused an epigenetic change within their reproductive cells.
So that their
I
children
think
would be stronger
that's why their
espers.
children were born with unique powers.
Gold Star. This is the reason I have my mind-hacking abilities. Phi was affected as well. You were born a shifter.
And she seems to be a better shifter than
DT.
almost anybody else.
Do you recall?
Akane might be better than her,
on
but
your wall?
When a curious hate oozes calamity.
And rearranging the letters gives you...
No way. What you choose can materialize us.
Our decisions will bring you to life.
yes, it
That
does.
is why the decision games were held. So that the Phi and me...
There was a couple
here
weeks
now
ago, though,
would materialize
where
exactly
streaming
the
wasn't
way
working
we
at all,
are.
so sometimes weird stuff just happens.
No, but... Okay, so I get why you had to have Diana and Sigma go through life or death decisions. But the rest of us had nothing to do with...
I already told you. My motives are complex.
What? Wait, there's more?
Yeah, gotta save the world.
Fuck you, you goddamn old man!
Phi can jump high and do a ninja kick even when she's not on the moon.
It's over.
Always Eric and the shotgun.
You may be right.
What?
Diana, take this. Put it in. Your bluebird, too.
Yeah, no problem. I just tuned in for a really
It's
short
ready.
time.
Verified. Key items were set. Executing Force Quit program. 10 minutes until explosion.
Well, that's not the quit that we were hoping for.
What?
Oh no!
The hell? What is this?
Hey, answer me! What's with that announcement?
Must I explain? This shelter will soon explode. You've worked so hard, only to turn on this facility's self-destruct mechanism.
Sean, access the central control computer.
It's no use. Once the Force Quit program has been activated, there is no possible way for you to reverse
That's
it.
probably why it's so hard to turn
Then
on.
what can we do?
I will tell you two good things. First, I suggest checking behind the bar counter.
Oh. Oh. No!
Why would you?
Gab's been...
Did you kill Gab?
They even killed the
Yes,
dog!
with the shotgun you're holding.
Why?
There wasn't much life left in him anyway.
You monster!
I never expected to hear that coming from you, Sean.
So what's the other thing? You had 2 things to tell us.
Leave it to Mira to be unaffected.
To mind hack,
We already know that.
but I've not told you everything about it. Reading other people's thoughts isn't the only thing I can do with mind hacking. It only lasts a moment, but I am able to control someone's body as I wish.
Oh, he's Xavier.
This.
He just had Eric shoot him.
Eric, why?
No, for real, my finger just...
Mind hacking.
And that's why people were voting and pushing buttons and stuff they shouldn't have been doing.
Is my power.
That's what he was doing.
So, let's begin. Your final decision game. You have 2 choices. 1, to stay here and wait to die. The other is... The other...
You'll have to figure it out on your
Hey,
own.
what's the other option? What's the other option?
So, is there actually 0 escape this time? Like, you just cannot escape from this facility? Because that would be really sad.
5 minutes until explosion.
What should we do?
What about the X door?
And how exactly should we open it? Unless 6 people die, it's gonna stay closed. Or should we start killing each other now?
Mira?
Mira, don't. I know you would.
I have an idea.
Which is?
We're going to shift, all of us, together.
Hey, hold on. Like jumping to another history?
But Eric and
I'm sure it will be fine. Remember what I said? Human consciousness may be a result of quantum effects in the brain.
Oh, yeah. You said if certain conditions are met, we can also...
What are the conditions?
First, you need to be exposed to danger. And the other one is...
To be in the vicinity of a group of shifters.
I get it.
We'll resonate, and then Mira and Eric can...
But which history are we going to jump to?
None of the similar histories will work. One team is likely to be dead after the vote.
And we can't shift if there are no bodies for us to jump to, right?
Then... we need to jump to where all of us are alive.
When we're all alive.
Do you mean...
The coin flip. the coin flip at the beginning of the game.
The history where we won the coin toss.
3 minutes until explosion.
I'm not sure I get it all, but it's a good idea?
What are you saying?
Yes.
There's no way
that is
we
correct.
could do that.
Why not?
Shift isn't simply jumping into bodies in different histories.
Our consciousnesses swap places. Ours for theirs.
We'll be forcing our other selves into these bodies, and they'll die without knowing why.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
What?
They lost the coin
Well,
toss.
they're all living without a care off in another history, yeah? One time, they do the coin toss once and win? Don't you think that's unfair?
They didn't have to go through all this
Mira.
crap.
You're saying they, but we're talking about ourselves here.
Well, we should consider if those people really are us.
Good point. If we assume that we here are the true versions, then the us in the other history are essentially strangers.
Even more of a reason not to.
If we shift to that history, then we're tossing the others under the bus to save ourselves.
The us in that history have done
This is
nothing
the final
wrong.
decision he was talking about.
I mean, the only thing they did was win at a coin toss.
You could say the same for us.
The only thing they did is
we
lose a coin toss.
Was lose a coin toss. Even so, we've had to go through so much shit. We've been forced to put our lives on the line.
Besides, aren't the bodies in the other histories ours anyway?
Then why should we second guess ourselves?
Huh.
1 minute until explosion.
We're out of time. I'll say it again. We have two choices. We can stay here and wait for our deaths, or survive by sacrificing our other selves in another history.
So that's what that bastard meant. Final decision game.
One thing of note is that he has also been playing the game and dying and stuff. So we're gonna do don't shift first. And he can't shift, so he's just been dying. They give each other their last looks, and I guess. Just came over. I love it. Oh, says all sections cleared. Trophy earned. C team subject report. Q team subject report. And D team subject report. Oh wait, let me go back. Let me go back to... Oh, all three of us have the thing. That's funny. I guess it's the same no matter what. And this time we're gonna shift. Oh. Ah, here we go. Remember that? We will jump to there. way at the beginning. Payoff number 2.
Damn, I can't remember anything.
Me neither.
Neither can I.
Now the game finally begins.
Somehow feels like I made a bet with someone, but
Someone?
What kind of bet?
Did we all forget what happened?
Hey, could I ask all of you something? Who is this kid?
And that was where it ended before. And there's our shifting.
Did we do it?
We're not wearing the bracelets, so I don't know the time. But
Judging by the position of the sun, it's probably noonish.
And the date?
How would I know?
Hey, Mira. Eric. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
Aww.
I definitely remember you.
then we really did.
Must have worked.
Life is unfair. Don't you think?
And here he is.
You bastard.
17 years ago, a snail traveled down a narrow path in the park. If that snail hadn't been there, perhaps all of you here would have lived a completely different life.
Yeah, the
than
true
you
mastermind.
did. Just one small snail, and everyone's lives, even the world, changed.
So, what's the big deal?
Oh, would you just quit talking nonsense?
I'm so glad you were safe.
Of course we were. You all have shifted in from another history.
Which he can tell because
Whatever.
he mind hacks.
We gotta call the cops.
And what exactly will that accomplish?
Isn't it obvious? We're throwing you in the slammer.
And my crime?
Murder.
Murder? I see. But I haven't killed anyone. Specifically, in this history, not a single person has died. I strongly doubt.
He did kidnap us, though.
But in the other histories, you...
Did you not pay attention? I don't have the ability to shift. The only reason I know anything of those histories is because I mind-hacked you. In effect, the me you know is a different person than the one before you. Can I be charged for killing someone in another history?
Yeah.
If so, then I'd say this world would be full of criminals of all kinds.
What about conspiracy to commit?
Yeah. I'm betting this history's got a bunch of dangerous machines and gimmicks all over the shelter.
Unfortunately, I have removed them all. You've slept for quite a while. Nothing is left in the shelter. No transporter, no quantum computer.
Wow.
Loaded into a truck and taken away.
Even the quantum computer,
Sean
wow.
is able to move right now due to radio signals received from a satellite. What? Aren't you happy? I say again, in this history, not a single person has died. Phi and I exist, and there will never be an outbreak of Radical 6. There is only a bright future ahead for all of us.
Except...
Is this not what you'd call a happy end?
Except that one fanatic didn't get killed.
According to you,
yeah,
all of mankind will die if time
Hello,
passes and nothing is done.
Religious fanatic, a terrorist attack that sparks a nuclear war.
I heard this story. You said you released Radical 6 so that you could kill that person.
The me before you did not say that, but I can't deny it's true.
Radical 6 won't spread throughout the world in this history.
That means that fanatic guy won't die.
Wait, so now humans will go extinct?
Hey, where's that happy future you mentioned?
Interesting. Does that make you angry, Phi?
What?
That I didn't slaughter?
If so, then we have a serious contradiction.
You were mad at me for...
a future in another history where 2 billion would survive. But yeah, you decided to jump to this history. That means you chose a future where humanity goes extinct, over 6 billion dead.
No, you're wrong, Delta. Nothing in the future has been determined yet. We'll shape the future with our own hands.
Huh. You said something I can get behind, Carlos.
I think so too.
I agree.
Okay, me too.
Mira.
You're right. The future has infinite possibilities.
If we work together, we can accomplish anything.
Humanity's gonna die out? Screw that.
We'll definitely change that horrible future.
What's so funny?
Right?
Just that.
It's like, yeah, I'll kill the fanatic, sure.
I'm sure I told you in another history that my motives are complex. Imagine, what if none of you had experienced the events that occurred in the shelter? You're so determined now to change the future. One of the goals of all of this was to get you into that frame of mind. It's all going according
Not only
to
that,
plan,
but they have a whole lot of practice
without
shifting,
a single casualty.
which,
I created a future
I mean,
where
that's what
mankind
Virtue's
will
Last
be
Reward was all
saved.
about. Shifting a bunch so that they would have practice, so that they'd be better at it.
Does that upset you? Are you angry that your life was played with? Very well. I will give all of you one last choice. With that gun there, you will be able to choose whether to kill me now or allow me to leave.
I mean, he's
promise
124.
I won't use mind hacking on you. You are free to decide. Which shall it be? Pull the trigger, or let me go. The fates of you, me, and mankind are all on the line. This is the decision game.
I guess that's it. Trophy earned, Mountain of Knowledge. Oh, and this is kind of funny because, of course, the option of whether or not to shoot wouldn't come up because he said, I won't mind hack you. And all the times when I was choosing, it was from my perspective as Delta, and I was mind hacking them as to what their choice was going to be. So of course the choice wouldn't come up. This game, dude. This game. I think that's the end, guys. I think that's it. I think that's it. That kind of seemed like the end. Can I speed up through the credits at all? No, it won't let me. We have to watch the credits. It's required. Dude. Yeah, so now it was just like Virtue's Last Reward and 999, where the game, despite how sadistic it was set up for a specific purpose. Vasco says, you are correct. There was even less left at the end of last stream than you thought. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted a marathon. Yeah, it would have been a little bit tricky. This did still take 45 minutes. And I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I would have made it. Hi, Duck. You missed the end of the game! Yeah. So, literally what happened, we managed to activate the Force Quit box, and as it turned out, the Force Quit box just made the shelter self-destruct in 10 minutes. So we made the decision to shift into another history in order to save ourselves, and we shifted to the reality where we won the coin toss. So we doomed those versions of ourselves to be blown up, but we survived. And now we have a lot of shifting practice, and we can hopefully stop the future in which the fanatic makes all of humanity go extinct. So, you know, worth a shot. Yeah, it was like a bit more sadistic of a Virtue's Last Reward, where he actually had several motives. He wanted to make sure that he and Phi were born, and that they were born in the versions of themselves that had the strong Esper abilities. He wanted to make sure that there was a reality in which humanity definitely survived, which is the Radical 6 one. And then he wanted to essentially train these Espers to be able to hopefully stop this fanatic and stop humanity from going extinct and maybe having a happy ending. I mean, he's 124. He's probably not going to see the outcome of it anyway. But, you know, it was at least worth a shot. And then at the end, he gave Carlos the option of, you know, you can kill me or not. But, you know, just realize that I might still be an asset to you in trying to stop this person. What you really dislike about this ending is how VLR sets up that the result of the decision game will resolve everything, but then the result. I don't understand what you're saying, Vasco. Oh, the result of the decision game is basically the same as VLR. We don't actually change that much. Oh, it's thanks to the support of our fans this project was completed. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Zero Time Dilemma staff. Yeah, I heard this game almost didn't get made, so... Trophy earned, the final decision. CQD N2. Trophy earned, shifter. There was no cake. So is that it? Is there anything else? Do I get an epilogue? There's no time that you dislike more than 0 time dilemma? Really? Is it that you like the other two, but... Yeah, I know. The cake was a lie. Is there anything else? Do I get an epilogue? Do I get to find out? Do I get to find out anything? Is that just it? Dude, what about the terrorists? What are they gonna do? Do Akane and Junpei get married? What? Epilogue? Something. Things you most liked about the other games, this one goes out of its way to avoid. There's a text epilogue somewhere? Where? Where would I find that? Is there a way that I can go back to the title screen, maybe? Okay. So play any fragment. And the epilogue files are in the Files menu under the Cinema tab. Okay. Why would they hide them? That's so mean. Okay, hold on. File. New. A whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff. Put the real ending as text after everything. Better crack open a quantum computer. Hey Mira, how are you feeling? Are you lonely? Come on, Eric, you visited last week. Eric smiles wryly and reaches out to Mira with his left hand. Mira does the same, and their hands with matching silver rings align on either side of the plexiglass window. I brought a new guest to see you today. Eric shifts to the side and a head pops into view. Hi, Amira. Long time no see. It's Sean, right? Yep, I'm happy you remembered. Behind Mira, the sun is shining through an iron-barred window, lighting up the visitor room. Oh, she's in jail! It's been a long time, Sean. It's good to see you. The smile that appears on her face is real. Myra no longer needs to plaster on a fake one. When I heard you turned yourself in, I was really surprised. Eric was the one who convinced me. He said I should pay for my sins so that we could be together. So that's why you got married in jail? Eric ducks his head shyly. Are you sure you're okay with this? Mira asks. He looks at her in confusion. But it sounds like she turned herself in willingly. Don't you regret marrying me? I did carve your heart out in another history. Isn't that what you said, Sean? Yeah, you did. Eric looks Mira straight in the eye. I've already told you this a bunch of times. I forgive you, no matter what happens. Besides, you haven't killed me in this history yet, right? Yet. Mira's lips twist wryly. But the Heart Rippers killed people already, so many. Sean, stop it. Eric turns angrily on Sean, and Mira's face falls into a frown, but Sean continues speaking. You turned yourself in, Mira, but that doesn't mean you've paid for all the crimes you did. I doubt the family and friends that were left behind would forgive you, even if you were put on death row. There's no way you can clear your sins here. You are very frustrated with how this game doesn't really continue the plot of VLR. It sets up so many things, but then Zero Time Dilemma does its thing. Mira grits her teeth. But there is a way to clear them. Well, not what you've already done, technically. You'll have to pay for those your whole life. That will never change. But maybe you can in another universe. Suddenly, Sean's fist crashes through the plexiglass window. Ah! Mira jumps backward while Eric is frozen in shock. What are you? Eric can't even finish speaking before Sean moves. Jumping through the broken window, he kicks the outside wall of the visitor room, causing it to crumble and reveal a giant hole. An alarm immediately starts blaring, and police officers rush into the room, but Sean darts forward and takes them all down in a blink of an eye. He holds his hand out to Mira. Let's go! Go? Where? I know where the transporter's being stored. You're saying we should go change history? Eric finally stutters. Sean nods. To stop young Mira from committing murder. Mira, I'm pretty sure that's the only way you can clear your sins. Mira stares out through the hole in the wall at the horizon extending beyond. Huh. Okay, let's unpack that, I guess. So, Mira's in jail. It's said that she has a real smile, that she no longer needs the fake one. You love how the choices of rooms you go into the others lets you meet and learn more about the character. Hear the same characters all the time. You can reform a sociopath. The same characters always get grouped together. Yeah, because the whole thing is they're supposed to be separated. I thought it was interesting. Like, I wouldn't necessarily wanted it to have been Virtue's Last Reward over again. Well, let's think about this, though. Let's think about this, though, because I'm trying to think about that, because they definitely made a point to say she smiled and it was a real smile. She didn't need the fake smile anymore. Which wouldn't make sense for a sociopath. Similar frameworks to different ends and still draw from the same strength, you feel. Okay. But, you know, in the end, at the end of the game, Eric and Mira went through the morphogenetic field with everybody else. I wonder if that experience would have, like, changed her. Like, maybe it would have fixed her. Because the whole thing with the morphogenetic field is basically being connected with other people. But, you know, as a sociopath, she was kind of closed off from all that. But maybe the morphogenetic field fixed her? I don't know. It might also be just happy, happy time, the end. I'm surprised it didn't say post-payoff Sean, Eric, and Mira, because it clearly was. But let's see Akane and Junpei. Your legs need the rest? That's good. Junpei sits upon a white sofa somewhere within the secret location of Crash Keys, twiddling a pen and sighing. What else should I say? Laying on the table in front of him is a half-written letter. Suddenly, Akane pops up behind him. What are you doing, Junpei? She playfully teases. Gah! Junpei dives for the letter, but she snatches it from his fingers and begins reading. Let's see. Carlos, without you, Akane and I would have never gotten together. Thank you. Is this an invitation to the wedding? No, it most definitely is not. He makes a grab for the paper, but Akane quickly moves it out of his reach. It's just a progress report, Junpei mutters. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I mentioned the wedding, but the date hasn't been set yet. I made a promise to you and your brother we wouldn't get married until you've dealt with the fanatic. Akane's face flushes bright red. She hastily hides her face behind the letter and goes back to reading. I'd like nothing more than to get the approval and blessing of our old friends and those of you we met 6 months ago. Eyes wide, Akane glances up at Junpei. He avoids her gaze, awkwardly scratching the back of his head. You know, there's a history where I keep searching for you, even after I'm old and craggly. It still exists out there somewhere, and when I think of that, a sharp pain jolts through Junpei's face. Akane is pinching his cheek. Ow, that hurts! What are you doing? To prove to you that this isn't a dream, Akane giggles. You still can't believe we're together like this. Junpei shakes his head. You've changed a lot, Junpei. A half a year ago, you were never this honest. It's like, how do I want to describe it? Like a dream? Huh? Junpei leans in and quickly pinches Akane. Oh, now you've done it! She darts forward and goes after Junpei with both hands, getting a pinch wherever she can, and Junpei does the same. Once they start laughing, it's very hard to stop, and they keep going until they're out of breath. I guess this is all thanks to Carlos, too. That's why I'm writing that thank you letter. On Akane's left hand, a ring glitters on her ring finger. So they did get engaged. They did decide to get engaged. They haven't gotten married, but they're at least together. The day is bright and clear. A girl in a white dress strolls along the beach, the wind tossing her long blonde hair playfully. Up until a half a year ago, she had been confined to a bed. Carlos's eyes still tear up every time he sees her smile. Come on, Carlos, you don't always have to help me. That's the point of my rehab. Oh, you're right. Sorry, Maria. Oh, Maria woke up! Yay! Carlos brushes her hair out of her face. It's definitely not the summer sun that's making him act out of sorts. It's the fact that his sister is standing here before him. So you know what? I think this was like... They probably ran out of budget to do the endings, and so that's why they just kind of put them in as text. Because I know this game almost didn't get made. Maria grins up at him. What would Akane and Junpei say if they saw you being all fussy like this? It's fine. They understand how important you are to me. Both you and Junpei put your lives on the line. Well, that was a different history, but going through that means we know how to treat Reverie Syndrome. I can't believe we have the ability to jump through space-time. I'm just glad you're able to control it now. It's all because Carlos met Akane and Junpei that Maria was able to recover. He wishes he could show them just how well she's doing. I wonder how they were able to help her. I remember they said that Reverie Syndrome was actually just people just jumping through histories and not being able to control it. Essentially being constant jump and being in flux. You're thinking about them right now, aren't you, Carlos? What makes you say that? Because you're smiling. Carlos closes his eyes, and as his unconscious smile turns fond. They're just about your age. It kind of feels like I gained a brother and another sister. You are going to their wedding, aren't you? Yeah, and you're coming with me. But there's something Carlos needs to do first. Back when the three of them parted ways. I'll be waiting to hear word from you when you locate that terrorist. Carlos held his right hand out toward Akane and Junpei, and the other two grabbed onto it with their own. There was no way of knowing if Delta was telling the truth, but if he was, one fanatic would kill off all of humanity. Akane and Junpei vowed to find this person, and Carlos offered to help. He can still feel the strong bond between the three of them, their hands clasped together tightly. I suppose I'd better get used to talking more before the wedding, huh? Holding her hair out of her face, Maria reaches out to her brother, who takes her hand in his, and they continue walking down the beach. The same blue sky above them stretches over friends Carlos knows he can rely on. That's nice. The other Phi. Baby Phi was indeed transported from 1904 to 2008, but a Phi also remained in 1904. Whatever happened to that Phi? Rumor is she became a brilliant scientist and worked at a research facility in the U.S. well into her hundreds. The facility was researching the transporter, and that's where the Phi from 1904 is sent. Did Phi raise herself? The old couple that... Okay, here's another thing. Phi got her... Oh, really? The donation button is not working? Let me try it also. When you click on it, is it just not going anywhere? Or what's happening with it? Because I was able to get the thing to come up. It has a player.me and then... 1 is 0 error. Is that when you click the button or when you get to the site and are trying to donate? You can get to it, but when you try to submit, it gives the error. Yeah, I mean, I can send you my direct one, but that's lame that it's not working. Invalid request parameter 0 with value 1. You'll keep working on it? Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can make anything happen. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. So, I went to go do it and did the tip with PayPal, and it brought up the PayPal page, but I don't know. Yeah, so I think that, I think Fi raised herself. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up. Fi's brooch, right? So, Fi has her brooch because Diana put it in the transporter with her. And so, that's why she has it. But Diana got the brooch from Fi when Fi died. So, where did it come from? Where did it originate? It's just like a loop. It doesn't. Where did it come from? It doesn't make any sense. Like there was no point of origin for this brooch. It's just a loop. Diana gave it to Fi, who gave it to Diana, who gave it to Fi, who gave it to, like there was no place where it was like created and entered the cycle, you know what I mean? Anyway, just weirdness. A bootstrap paradox. Okay. Audentum forsque venusque juvat. A phrase from Ovid, it roughly translates to both love and luck help the bold. A robot's name. The robot with a round helmet on his head is named Sean. He has never been called anything other than that by those in the underground shelter, aka his name was never Q. Post-Apocalypse 2. Oh, wait. We need Post-Apocalypse 1 first. This must be fate. Fate? Diana smiles weakly from the bed at Sigma's question. Don't you remember? You told me that yourself. Me? I never said it. If it really was me, then... Yes, the Sigma who is 67 inside. Diana shifts her frail hand closer to Sigma, and he gently grasps it between his own. The Sigma before her is not the one who is trapped in the shelter. It's the same body, but a different consciousness. On April 13th, 2029, Sigma was at the headquarters of Crash Keys, his eye and arms replaced with robotic ones. There, the young Sigma returns to his body from 45 years in the future and begins to carry out Akane's instructions. How many years has it been since you came here, Diana? A little over 3, I think. I followed you here in May 2029. A violent coughing fit takes over as she speaks. Sigma helps her sit up and softly pats her back until it subsides. Why didn't the medical pod work? I told you, it's fate. Diana's skin is deathly pale, but her eyes still shine with life, just like a child's. I've always dreamt of coming here. Did you know that Diana is the name of the goddess of the moon? I wanted to do this ever since I was little, so I'm perfectly fine with dying here. What are you saying? I've been able to spend the last 3 years living with you, Sigma. I've treasured every moment. Sigma lowers his head, his expression pained. Please don't make that face. You don't need to be sad. In the year 2074, you will shift back to Christmas 2028, and the next day, old me will head into the decomp facility in the Nevada desert and meet you. Diana nods. Sigma closes his eyes and shakes his head. that's not it. I mean, I'm in love with the you. His declaration stops as Diana's lips close over his in a kiss, and the rest of his words are lost. After a moment, Diana murmurs, "It must be a wonderful future, the future where we found each other in 2028. Sigma holds on to her tightly. Aching, heartfelt sobs echo within a cold, silent world. Sadness. Like an hour after last week's stream, you finally figured out something that made you feel smart and stupid. What was it? Ooh, the murder 17 years ago. 17 years ago, a young mother went jogging in the park. She reached a fork where she usually goes right, but on this day she decided to go left. Why? Because there was a snail on the path. No one knows why she avoided the snail. Was she afraid of them? Or felt a sense of danger from it? Whatever the case may be, the snail caused her to switch to the left path. As a result, she was killed by a girl. The suspect who was taken into custody, a Japanese man, was not the culprit. He was falsely convicted and executed, and his wife committed suicide in her grief. The two left young children behind, which was Aoi and Akane. The convicted man called a taxi before his arrest, but the taxi ended up picking up another fare instead, a brilliant surgeon. However, the car became involved in an accident, killing the surgeon as well as the young boy who was waiting for an operation by the surgeon, which was Sean, the real Sean. If that snail hadn't been on the path 17 years ago, what would have happened? Life is simply unfair, don't you think? At the end of Virtue's Last Reward, Alice and Clover are talking about a way of technically getting to the past. I think they say something like, or our bodies can go back at least. They must be talking about the transporter then that Akane obtains in the future. Oh. That's interesting. I mean, you would have no way to know that at the end of playing VLR, so that I don't think that's dumb. Wards C, Q, and D being in the same space mean the air ducts in the prep room and lounge don't lead to other wards. Inside is simply a small space for Gab, where he often rests on a rug. Oh, a timeline? You played the game since and didn't think of it. I didn't think of it either. Oh wait, the Monty Hall problem. A probability puzzle based off of a TV game show host by Monty Hall that is strongly divisive among scholars. The problem is as follows. 3 doors are before you. One hides a prize behind it, while the other 2 hide goats. The door with the prize is random and only known by Monty. Monty asks, which of the 3 doors will you open? You then pick a door, but it remains closed. One of the 2 remaining doors is opened, revealing a goat. It is possible both doors contain a goat, and you pick the door with the prize. But then Monty asks, now there are only 2 closed doors. Which one do you choose? Will you change your mind or stay with your first choice? How should you answer? You'd think there's no way to know which is right, but the chances are 2 to 1. The probability for either door is the same. However, this question will be answered in the game. The gas mask location is completely random. Therefore, using probability to choose the correct locker may still result in getting the wrong one simply because of bad luck. Gab is the true mastermind, getting to rest on a rug while all the drama happens. Yeah, and he only dies in one history. Well, actually, there are a few other histories where the facility blows up, so he probably dies in those too. This looks like just other stuff. Oh, other Latin phrases. From the Aeneid, roughly translates to fate and the dooming gods are deaf to tears. Applaud. The play is over. You think he makes it out those times? He's a pretty good boy. Technically, Radical 6 did not kill 6 billion people. The spreading of the virus caused chaos and panic around the world, prompting the explosion of several nuclear reactors. It's those explosions which led to the 6 billion deaths. The sorrowful mother stood. See, I knew that! I knew that! Crash Keys, a secret organization created by Akane Kurishiki. Their ultimate goal is to create a better future. Akane's brother, Aoi, is second in command and is assisting her from the outside. Oh wait. Multiverse and the single path. Video game structure can help explain. Protagonist P travels down a road until he reaches a three-way fork. You, the player, choose the left path, and P ends up abducted by terrorists and holed up in an underground cell forever. You try a second time by selecting the right path. You avoid the terrorists, but P is hit by a truck and permanently handicapped. Getting annoyed, you sigh and go back to choose the last route straight down the middle. P comes across a man attacking a girl from an affluent family and fights him off. The girl and P fall in love, get married, and live together happily. By this point, the game is mostly over. It is the ending that is considered... Is this ending that is considered the best end? But is it really? Take multiverse theory into consideration. The P who chose the left path must think, why am I not the P who chose the center path and instead stuck in this cell? But if there's only one world, then left path history disappears once P chooses the center path. Some of you may be thinking, then why isn't it just a straight road? But it's not that simple. What about what happens when the P who picked the right path? He gets into an accident, but after the extensive rehab, wins a gold medal at Paralympics. He marries a beautiful wife, has several children. By the time he's old, there are many grandchildren too. So consider again, if the world is one single path, what about right path life? Where does his glory go? What about his happiness with his family? If the only one who remained is center path with his rich wife, is that truly a happy end? By the way, to incinerate means to burn. I'm a little disappointed it did not say that. This seems just like random stuff now, like little minutia. Yeah, reverie syndrome, also known as dating syndrome. Brain cannot handle the amount of information entering the brain, and an effect shuts down. Cause of the syndrome is currently unknown. Death is certain. Its hour is uncertain. If we learn one thing from all this, it means incinerate means to burn, for sure. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's all. That's the whole thing. We saw everything. What is status? Oh, that's kind of nice. Also funny that it doesn't have the name. It doesn't have the picture of Q. In context, no matter the choice, pain and death are unavoidable. You found it many times, over and over. So, yeah, I guess it's only 8:18, so I think I'll just go play a different game, because this is over. We finished it. It's done. It's all done. So I'm gonna swap over. Ooh. Sorry, I don't know if you remember, but it used to be the ticking clock, but now it has a slideshow. I like it. I like it. That's pretty cool.